rise with prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Soul Masters, day of judgment in which we now live. The alone do we serve, and the alone beseech for thine help and aid. O Allah, please guide us on the right path. Path of those upon whom thou hast bestowed thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after they heard thy teachings. Say he Allah is one God. Allah is he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, there is none like him. And I bear witness that none deserve to be served, worship, or praise besides Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is that true servant and last apostle. Ameen. I'd like to acknowledge the brothers and sisters that extended us the greetings of Assalamu Alaikum. We have Brother Minister Isaac Farad Shabazz Muhammad from Brooklyn, New York. We have Brother Jasir Kabir from Virginia. We have Brother Muta Kabir from New Jersey. We have Sister Shaharazad Ali from Ohio. We have Brother Yusuf Hakeem from Oklahoma. And we have the Rafiq family. I'd like to say in the name of Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, and in the name of his last and greatest messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, I'd like to greet the brothers and sisters with the Nation of Islam's greeting words of peace of Assalamu Alaikum. Today we want to talk about the September 4th, 1970, Muhammad Speaks, and it's called The Black Man and His Rise. Starts on page 16. The messenger says, he says, the black man and his rise is the most controversial topic of conversation today, in the homes, in groups, and in public. Why is there all of this talk about the black man and his idea and work of the time? It is time that the black man rise and return to his own. The rise of the black man will be successful if he will take the right way for his rise. If he would take the right way for his rise. But since the death of the messenger, we don't want to take the right step for our rise. We want to use the teachings of the messenger and use it for our own personal rise. We don't want to use it for the rise of the black nation. But the messenger said we can only rise if we take the right step. Because what happened during the time of the messenger? You had a lot of black people behind the curtain peeking at the Muslims, challenging the white man. You had a lot of black people. You got a lot of black people who didn't have the nerve at first to try to challenge the white man. So they were sitting back behind the curtain peeking, watching the messenger. Then after watching the messenger for about 30 years, they got the courage to say, let me try. I want to try the white man, see what happened. So a lot of black militant groups began to form in the 60s. You had a Black Panther Party, you had all of these black nationalist groups, black militant groups, and that was born the Black Power movement. But the white man destroyed all the groups in the Black Power movement. But the Nation of Islam still stood. But you still have some black people behind the curtain watching. Because they still got their little program they trying to push. So in the 80s, when the white man cooled all the way off, you have some more religious groups that say, hey, this is the perfect time to try to push my program. So then you had groups in the 80s that came out to try to challenge the teachings of the messenger now. I mean, directly challenge the teachings of the messenger. So we have, today, we have all of these groups be coming out with these memes on social media. And this is one of the memes. Trying to challenge what the messenger say, our rise, the black man's rise. So this says, this is the meme right here. It says, Negro. The only people who has no knowledge of his or her true heritage. Then they got black. It's not a country or nationality. It is a color, aka a crayon. They say, what is your nationality? What is your nationality? So nationality means if I'm from Britain, then I call myself British. Or if I'm from Lebanon, I call myself Lebanese. Then they say black. What country did black people come from? You know, how do you, if you say you black, what's your nationality? What country you come from? So this is the weak arguments they try to come up now with because they don't want to accept the right way. That's right. The messenger already showed us the right way. That's right. He already proved to us what the right way was. Now, we don't identify with nationality in the Nation of Islam. We say we are the Asiatic black man from the tribe of Shabazz. Right. What does Asia mean? We have which one will survive the war of Armageddon. The messenger taught us that the world is divided in two camps. Islam or Christianity. It's the only two camps. You either a Muslim or you a Christian. Right. Ain't no in-betweens. Ain't no I'm a black nationalist. Ain't no I'm a Pan-Africanist. Ain't no I'm a revolutionary. You either a Muslim or you a Christian. That's just the two camps. That's right. It ain't no in the middle. So when we say that we are the Asiatic black man from the tribe of Shabazz, what are we saying? And this comes from the flag of Islam. The messenger says, and this is on page 1. The messenger says, Allah God, in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever, found us, his black people here in North America, which is spiritually referred to as the wilderness of North America. He has power over the heavens and the earth. He called us a nation for the first time. He called us a nation for the first time. So when you got all of these groups that don't want to accept the right way, who calling their little group a nation? No. There was no group that called themselves a nation before the messenger. Because Master Farad Muhammad was the first one to call us a nation. Yes, sir. He was the first one to give us a flag. Represent a nation. Right. Master Farad Muhammad. Right. Then he says this coincides with the Bible, which refers to him as making a nation out of us after he found us. Therefore, he began at once calling us the lost found nation of Islam in the wilderness of North America. He brought to us a flag to represent our independence as a nation. He offered to us a flag which represents an independent people. He offered to us a flag. He didn't force us to do nothing. That's right. It's still offered to us today. That's right. That's all we doing. That's right. It's offering it to you. Right. Because we ain't got nothing in the white man's world. That's right. Nothing. Right. So if I see you walking, I can offer you a ride. Say, hey, I see you walking. You want to ride? Right. I ain't forcing you. I don't need you. I got a car. Right. But I'm offering you a ride. Because you walking. Right. What it look like you walking and you act like you doing me a favor because I'm giving you a ride. Right. That's how it is with Master Farad Muhammad. He offering to us a flag. Oh, praise to Allah. He ain't begging us. He ain't sitting up here trying to wait for us like, oh, go in the house and do what you got to do. I'll be out here waiting. No, he offering to you a flag to represent yourself as an independent people. And he says, since our flag have been given to us to represent us as an independent nation, it is referred to in the words, the flag of Islam. All this makes up the flag of Islam, which is the sphere of life in the whole universe of space and man. That's what our flag represents. Yes. We ain't talking about no nationality. Right. If you hear a brother still talking about some nationality, he's still deaf, dumb, and blind. Right. He don't know what he's talking about. Right. But see, the black man who was peeking at the messenger, they try to take little pieces of what the messenger said, try to make a religion or a group around fragments of what the messenger said. Because they all talk about the knowledge of self. You need to know who you are. That's why they come with this knowing your heritage stuff. Because they trying to teach you, from their perspective, the knowledge of self. But they trying to hide the fact that they really trying to exalt themselves. They not trying to teach you the knowledge of self. Because the messenger already taught you the knowledge of self. Now he done told us that the whole earth belongs to the black man.
That's right.
All praise due to Allah. What you look like, talking about what's your nationality. And to further show you how much of a fool a black man is, to talk about his nationality, let's look at some history. Because we always want to look at some history. Because history is best qualified to reward our research.
Yes,
let's talk about the Berlin Conference. And the Berlin Conference was when the white man went to Africa and divided Africa up for the black man. Now this is a white man who owns the black man's land. A white man who telling the black man where he gonna live. I'm talking about dividing people up. Because you got a country called India. You got black people in India. The British decided we gonna divide up India. And we're going to call one part Pakistan, and we're going to call another part India. Because they say they was trying to settle the dispute between the two people. They both Indians. But the white man said, we're going to settle the dispute and say, you go in Pakistan, you stay in India. The white man. So some of the black man's nationality is Pakistan. The other one is India. But all of it is your land.
Right.
So if somebody asks you what's your nationality, you say I'm from Pakistan. Another one say I'm from India. Now you look at your brother from India like he different.
Right.
Say my brother,
Right.
he Indian. Just like we look at a Haitian. He a nigga from Haitian. Yeah, Haitian niggas coming to America. You know, that's your brother.
That's right.
But because the white man carved up our earth and divided it up for us, we don't recognize our brother.
That's right.
So the Berlin Conference, it says in the late 1800s, something strange happened in Europe. Infected by the nationalist bug, every European country wanted to grab a piece of Africa to enrich themselves and prove their power as a nation. Latecomers like Italy and Germany were getting in on it, and Britain responded by aggressively expanding and defending their colonies. European nations came together at the Berlin Conference in 1884 to bring some order to the process. Notably, no African countries were invited. So when the white man decided, we about to take Africa, that's just like you walking down the street and the brother come up to you and say, run your pockets. That means he about to take what you got. That don't mean he asking you. He just letting you know what you got is mine now. So run your pockets. That's what they used to say when I was coming up. Run your pockets. And you're like, oh man, he about to rob me. So the white man went to Africa and told the black man, run your pockets. And he took everything. He didn't even ask him what he wanted. He took it and divided it up for him and told him what he was going to have. So then you have, it says the Berlin Conference carved up the continent into spheres of influence for each country. It says Great Britain got southern and northeast Africa from Berlin. So Britain got the southeast or the southern and northeast corner of Africa. That's what they got. It says from 1880 to 1900, Britain gained control or occupied what are now known as. Because when the black man had it, he called it something else. Just like with Negro. We used to call ourselves something else. So we now known as Negroes. So they said what are now known as Egypt, Sudan, Kenya, Uganda, South Africa, Gambia, Sierra Leone, Northwest Somalia, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Botswana, Nigeria, Ghana, and Malawi. That meant that the British ruled 30% of Africa's people at one time. One group of devils. You still got the French, you got the Portuguese, you got the Spanish, you got the Italians, you got the Germans. Just these devils had 30% of the black man. They owned them. Now, what you think the language today of the people are who was owned by the white man? It's English. English is their native or language today. They've been free from colonial power for years. But even today, their language is still English. Then you got the French white man who owned his French part, Senegal, which is a Muslim country now. Black Muslims. What's their language? French is their language. So you talking about what's your nationality? You in Senegal. You a Muslim. The white man told you can have that. Even though you free now, your language still French. Even though you in Zimbabwe, you free. You had one of the baddest black men I done saw in my lifetime as a president, President Mugabe. President Mugabe took it from the white man. Soon as President Mugabe left, they started giving it back. Soon as he left. Talking about your nationality. Now let's talk about Zimbabwe for a minute. Let's talk about Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, if you go look at the history of Zimbabwe, they named this whole country after a white man named Cecil Rhodes. The whole country named after a white man named Cecil Rhodes. They used to call it Rhodesia or Rhodesia. One white man now. They named a waterfall Victoria Falls after the white woman Victoria. They took everything from the black man. Black man ain't had nothing. So this was an article written called "Why African Judges Still Wear Wigs is a Glaring Symbol of British Colonialism." It says the British gave up their last colonies in Africa half a century ago, but they left their wigs behind. Not just any wig, they are the long white horsehair locks worn by high court judges and King George III. Now the devil done left, been left. Yeah. The devil even writing articles like, look, we been left. They still wearing wigs. Still high court, not the lower court, the high court of black people still wearing wigs. They said they are so old-fashioned and so uncomfortable that even British barristers have stopped wearing them. The white man stopped wearing them. The white man that gave this to you say they so uncomfortable and so old-fashioned they don't even wear it no more. But the black man, with your nationality, the high court, the wisest of them, still wearing wigs. There's a picture of them. All praise is due to Allah. The wisest of them, still wearing wigs. Brothers who getting PhDs, master degrees, going to college, you still wearing a wig. You got a yellow wig. You don't even get a black wig. You got a yellow wig on. Looking just like the devil. Standing up there like you know what you talking about. That's right. That's right. Still speaking English. You got a choice. Just like how the messenger said, Allah offered us a flag. That's right. You can still wear the wig of the white man if you want to. Right. I'm offering you a ride, brother. If you want to walk, you can walk. Right. You ain't hurt me. Right. These brothers, what you do? Who you hurt? You look like a fool before the world wearing the wig, and the white man asked. Right. So with them, We don't even wear them no more. Then they go on to say, but in former British colonies, Kenya, Zimbabwe, Ghana, Malawi, and others, they live on, worn by judges and lawyers. Now, a new generation of African jurists is asking, why are the continent's most prominent legal minds still wearing the trappings of the colonizers? All this time, you still, and these is countries. Kenya still doing it, Zimbabwe still doing it, Ghana still doing it, Malawi, and others. But we Africans too. We like to say that. I'm an African. Yeah. The Africans need to be taught. That's right. They ain't got it on the ball. That's right. Sitting up here acting like we gonna name ourselves after people. No, we ain't naming ourselves after nobody. We black people. Right. And when we say black, we say the whole earth belongs to us. That's right. All praise due to Allah. That's what we mean when we say we the Asiatic black man. Yes, and we don't deal with no nationality. Right. The white man carved up the world. For not only the black man, we in America. That's right. What they call the Indians, the Native Americans. That's right. Why you call him a Native American? He wasn't calling this America before you came. But he say you native to America. This our country. And they took it from the Native Americans. And they put him on a reservation. That's right. Just so that, and I remember the first time I went on the reservation, I could not believe what I saw. They had on the reservation. Now you know how you have some houses that's close to a street. Like you can have a house off 7 Mile. And the cars go pretty fast off 7 Mile. It's like, well, it's just 7 Mile. I'm talking about they living off the highway. The highway run through the reservation. They ain't got no grass, some of them. They got their clothes hanging on the line. So when the truck driving past, all the dust blowing all on their clothes, through the reservation. I'm talking about trailer park looking reservation. And the only thing good that they have on all of these reservations is a casino. That's it. That's it. The best of the Indians work at the casino. I couldn't believe that. And then when you go in the casino, you can tell they think they something when they working at the casino. I ain't like them niggas that live off the highway. I work at the casino. I'm telling you. You'll be surprised to see how the white man do you. He'll make you turn on your own people for these little crumbs. And you looking at them like, you happy with this? And we was at a casino of a truck stop. We wasn't at like Greek Town. We was at a truck stop casino and they acting like, you know, I'm at the casino. Like what? That's the white man. That's how he do you. So we see that we are the Asiatic black man from the tribe of Shabazz. Master Farad Muhammad came and offered to us a flag that represents everything in existence, the whole universe. That's what our flag represents. So when we say we the Asiatic black man, we not talking about no country. We talking about the whole earth. Then we can go on. The messenger says, the rise of the black man here and in Asia and in Africa is not actually due to your great wisdom. I like that. So it ain't due to nothing you know. It ain't due to nothing you think you know. It ain't due to your wisdom. He says, the rise of the black man here in Asia and Africa is not actually due to your great wisdom. Our rise is due to the wisdom and the spirit of your God and my God, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever. All praise due to Allah. I love this. I love all this old school Elijah Muhammad. See, I don't never say nothing without letting you know. It ain't you. It ain't you. That's why every time I find something where the messenger talking about Master Farad Muhammad, I'm bringing. Because we all praise due to Allah. We some Master Farad Muhammad Muslims. We ain't none of these, oh, I'm doing it myself. We want to let everybody know. If you that kind of Muslim, this ain't the place for you. All praise due to Allah. The messenger said we got a God. We got a God over our nation. We ain't just doing this ourselves. It ain't because of your wisdom. Not even after Master Farad Muhammad gave you wisdom. It ain't because of your wisdom. It's because of his wisdom he gave to you. Let's get that straight. He said he is bringing about your and my rise into the knowledge of self and the knowledge of doing for self. So he's not just bringing us into the knowledge of self. He's bringing us into the knowledge of doing for self too.
That's right.
So we want to go a little bit further into this knowledge of self, because we done got so used to some of these terms that the messenger gave to us that we try to make it seem like we got it from ourselves. Now this Muhammad Speaks newspaper say, the black man and his rise. Now, in our generation, it would seem strange to see, once upon a time, saying black wasn't popular.
That's right.
We just say it so much now, we think, hey, I'm black. But there was a time where it wasn't so popular to say you was black.
That's right.
But the messenger, on all the Muhammad Speaks newspaper, he say, the rise of the black American. Always talking about black. When the black man was rejecting black, the messenger was talking black.
Yes.
And we got the documented history. It was the messenger who woke us up to black.
That's right.
It was the messenger who got us to love black.
That's right.
It was the messenger. It wasn't nobody else.
That's right.
Because we got the documented history. And I love this one right here. The Jet magazine to say, who speaks for the Negro? Because this always, just this picture alone says a lot. Because you don't see no militants. All you see, Martin Luther King, he was with the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. Then you had Roy Wilkins, who was over the NAACP. Then you got James Farmer, who was of CORE. And you got the message. You ain't got no Black Panthers.
That's right.
You ain't got no Black Hebrews.
Yeah.
You ain't got no Black conscious Christians. None of that.
Right.
And these brothers were still calling the black man a Negro with the color. Still trying to integrate. Because now, separation wasn't popular to be talking about either.
That's right. That's right.
Love yourself wasn't popular to talk about. Even defending yourself wasn't popular to talk about. Defending yourself. Saying, if he hit me, I'm at him back.
Right.
You couldn't even say that. And what's crazy to me, my whole life, my parents told me, if somebody hits you, hit them back.
Right.
My whole life.
Right.
I grew up around black people. I ain't experienced all of this integration stuff until I went to the Navy. Started meeting black people who really got white friends. That was something strange to me. Because I remember this brother had this white dude that was his friend. So I'm figuring he just cool with him because he met him on the ship. This ain't his friend. He used to keep bringing him around. So one time he went, I'm like, man, why you keep bringing this man, man? Why, you know what I'm saying? We gonna live, we want to be with the brothers, man. We don't want to be with the white boys, man. We're like, why you keep bringing him, man? He's like, oh, he cool, man. That's my friend. Like, that's your friend? Like, you be telling him your secrets? Like, he your friend like that? He was for real. Talking about defending him like, you know, I realized, okay, I'm going to just leave it alone. That's his friend. I just know I ain't hanging with him. Because I could tell where it was headed. He was about to be defending this white man to the point where it's like me and him about to have a beef. So I was just like, okay, that's your friend, man. I just know when I want to go on, I ain't going with this brother. He bringing this devil. So the messenger is the one who taught us to love black. Because the things that we do now that's so common, like defending ourselves, that wasn't so common then. Because when the messenger used to say that the black man should defend himself, people automatically start talking about hate teaching. He teaching hate. Now your parents, when you was black, I bet you, your parents even told you, if somebody hit you, hit them back. But you knew. They talking about somebody black. They ain't talking about the white man. You knew that.
That's right.
They ain't had to tell you.
Yeah.
When somebody hit you, hit them back, meaning if a nigga hit you, you hit them back. I better not see you letting one of these niggas around here hit you and you don't do nothing. You gonna get a whoop.
That's right.
But if that white man slap and you don't do nothing, I'd be proud. You a strong black man then. I saw not too long ago This sister spit on this bus driver. He hit her back. Nah, I'm not for nobody spitting on you. I'm not for that. By no means. But I don't like how the black man in this generation, when they hit the black woman, how they start talking all this. If she spit on a man, what she expect? Oh, nah, she's supposed to expect. What about when the white man hit a man? Well, what she expect? You to turn your cheek? But when it's a sister, that's when we got to show the world how much of a man. I ain't with that. I'm not telling you by no means to allow nobody to spit on you, nobody to hit you. But if a black man got to hit a black woman and they interview him, he should say, I did all I could not to have to hit this sister. All I could. But she ain't leave me no choice. If I had to do it another way, if it was another way, I'd do it another way. I ain't want to hit that sister. But she ain't leave me no choice. I respect that. But you sitting up here just talking about, oh, she spit on me. You know what she think? What should we think when the white man, just this 30-year-old white man, punched his sister in the face about a parking spot? All these brothers ain't do nothing. What should he expect? What should the white man expect? Well, all praise due to Allah. What should he expect? He should expect you to turn the cheek? Why shouldn't the sister expect you to turn the cheek? Maybe she think that's what you like. She done seen you turning your cheek all the time. Maybe she's like, hey, he want me to hit him. You been turning your cheek. Why you can't turn your cheek for your sister if you turning it for the white man? I ain't with all that. Oh, I'm just a man. No, you need to be telling everybody I did all I can not to hit this sister. But she ain't leave me no choice. But it was the messenger who taught us to love black. Because he was the one who started teaching us about the word Negro. When you had other black people who accepted Negro, you had the messenger who was teaching us about Negro, teaching us to love ourselves. This article right here, it said the rise of the black man, and then it got the Negro. In here, the messenger says, we are not Negroes. That is those of us who have awakened into the knowledge of self. We are black original people. Not to say that we original. That wasn't popular either. Say we original. Because when the messenger began to say we original, that's when the white man started saying we original too. But because the white man, the devil, and he a liar, he had a little spin on his little original thing. He'll say we was original, but we was monkeys. We was in Africa. Everything started in Africa, yeah. But they was monkeys first. Then they migrated to Europe, and that's when they became a man. That's how they teach that we original. So when the messenger started teaching we was original, the messenger started teaching that Jesus was black. And then you seen white people teaching that same thing. People would stop listening to the messenger and then listen to the white man teaching. So that's how the white man, even to this day, draw black people away from the messenger. Because they'll take a little bit of what the messenger said when you start realizing Jesus is black. Like, yeah, he black. But what difference do it make what color Jesus is? So they admit, like, yeah, he black. But what difference do it make what color he is? So if I got the white Jesus, it really don't mean nothing because, you know, what difference do it make? To get you right back where you was before. They start easing in the messenger teaching. And that's the same thing these black groups do. To get you back off the messenger, they'll start easing in a little bit of the messenger, but then ease their little stuff in too. Even with the hadith to live. You got a lot of brothers talking hadith to live today. Taking what the messenger said and easing in their own little thing. So the messenger says about the Negro, he says, there is no race or nation which has been called from their beginning Negroes. This is a slang that the slave master and his children have given to the American black slaves. He says after they have been successful in depriving their fathers of the knowledge of self, they made us neutral. We are not respected as a member of the societies of the earth, nor by him because of the lack of knowledge of self and others. Now that's something that the messenger brought to our attention too. Getting to respect the nations. That's what made him different from Martin Luther King. Made him different from the NAACP and all of them. Because they was trying to get the respect of the white man. Right. So it was only so far they was going to go. You know what I'm saying? They wanted the white man to approve what they was saying. That's right. If the white man didn't approve it, then they was like, I don't think we should do that. Right. We might be moving a little bit too fast. Right. But the messenger was getting us to respect the nations. Right. If a nation will defend their women, then why we can't defend our women? If they going over to Vietnam to fight, why we can't fight at home? Right. These were the questions that the messenger started asking that started to make these black militants think like, he right. Why should we go to Vietnam and fight if we can't fight at home? We got to turn the other cheek. Why should we, as black people, let the white man tell us we moving too fast and he got everything? He stole from us. Why we can't have what he got? So that's how black people start taking the messenger teachings and adding it on to their thing. Because they start peeking around the glass, seeing the messenger like, oh, that's true. Let me add that to my thing. Oh, that's true too. Oh, let me add that to my thing. And it started to have black people get off the messenger, just like how they are today. The messenger taught us about black. We should have, just like they talk about Martin Luther King, they should talk about the messenger. The messenger is the one who got us to love ourselves, even if we just talking about black. All black people say they black. Negro is a word now that's frowned upon for black people. Say, oh, look at this Negro. The messenger did that. We don't talk about the messenger at all. Not even to give him credit. We'll give Stokely Carmichael credit. We'll give Martin Luther King credit. They even talking about how he woke up and how he started talking black. Martin Luther King. What book can we read from Martin Luther King where he talking black? You talk about a speech where he might have said something about some black, and now we're going to give him credit for waking up. But we don't even talk about the message. No. But that's how they get you to get off the message. Start giving credit to people who learned what they knew from the message. Like Malcolm X. They take us off with him big time. Because they show that he went to Mecca. All them years, Malcolm X was going hard on the white man. All them years. Saying stuff about the white man that woke us up about the white man. Stuff that we know true. But then when he went to Mecca, now all that stuff don't count no more. All that stuff he done said about the devil. All that stuff that he went to colleges to debate the white man. All that don't matter no more. Because he went to Mecca. And he saw one good white man in Mecca. Not that he was in America, in Chicago somewhere and seen some good. He was in Mecca. How many black people knew about Mecca then? To go to Mecca, so somebody to tell you I saw some good white people in Mecca. Like, what that mean to me? You in Mecca. I ain't never been to Mecca, never wanted to go. So if you tell me it's some gold in Mecca, that ain't gonna make me want to go. If you tell me it's some gold here, I might be like, dang, man, how can I get? You know what I'm saying? I ain't nobody gonna tell you about some white man. We love the devil. Any old white man he found, he could have been somewhere on the moon. Say, I found a good white man. Like, oh, that stuff Elijah Muhammad talking about don't mean nothing. Because you found one good white man. But it was the messenger who taught us who we are as far as the Negro is concerned. And he says, Allah God, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever, said to me that there cannot be a worse robbery than to rob a man of the knowledge of self. This is why it is associated with physical blindness. It is awful even for one to go and rob a man of his sight, with which he sees the way in going forth and coming in. The blind man depends on others to lead him and the support of canes to help him to get around among people. He cannot see. His eyes have been put out pitiful. So it was the messenger who started to compare our condition to different, like blindness. Calling the white man a snake. Calling the white man the devil. Making stuff real for us. Because the stuff in the Bible and all of these, we never connected that to our condition. Talking about, because Carter G. Woodson came out with a book called The Miseducation of the Negro. And if you read that book, you could tell he was sincere. He was really saying, like, look, something wrong. All these black people who got PhDs and we still don't seem to get nowhere. Yes, the miseducation of the Negro. He was the one who started talking about we should have a Negro, Negro History Week. Carter G. Woodson. But he didn't have the knowledge of self. Right. He didn't know. But you could tell. He really was trying, even with W.E.B. Du Bois. You read his books. He really wanted, like, hey, it's something wrong. Right. Booker T. Washington. Marcus Garvey, a lot of black people came. But they didn't have the teachings to wake the black man up. It didn't leave a mark in the mind of the black man to actually change him the way he was thinking. That's right. It wasn't until the messenger. That's right. It wasn't until the messenger started teaching us about black till we said, oh, black. Right. Black better than white. Right. All praise due to Allah. Marcus Garvey ain't teach us that black was better than white. W.E.B. Du Bois didn't say that. Booker T. Washington didn't say that. Carter G. Woodson. But the messenger, he was teaching black so strong he could tell you that black is better than white. That's right. And you can have a black man in the mud get pride to hear the messenger talk about black. That's right. And you a wino. Right. You can look at that white man and call him a skunk. Right. And you a wino. Right. All praise due to Allah. Right. That's the power of the teachers of the messenger. That's right. You can have a prostitute hear about black and have her thinking about, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Right. A prostitute, a pimp. Right. I done met some brothers who thought they was a pimp, not even an actual pimp, but thought they was a pimp. They ain't thinking about no stopping. Right. But the messenger could teach black so strong that would have a pimp say, I shouldn't be doing her like that. That's right. That's the queen mother of civilization. Right. That's the messenger. That's right. But we don't talk about him. A man that could teach black that strong. These people talking about black as a crayon. That's all they see, black. The messenger could take black and change your life. That's right. That's the messenger. That's right. But we don't talk about the messenger. We'd rather sit up there and deny the ride. Somebody offer us a ride. Right. And when you see a person who, if you walk, and you see this brother kind-heartedly, he offer you a ride, and you reject him, you don't feel sorry for him no more. It could be raining outside, and you could see him like, I ain't giving him no ride. This brother asked him for a ride, and he got that nerve to tell his brother no. He can walk then. You don't feel sorry for nobody rejecting the offer. If somebody offering you something better than what you got, and you reject them, I'm not, what I'm able for? You saying you don't want that. The messenger offered us the best thing we could have. How we gonna reject it? The sun, moon, and stars. What other flag you got? To have the nerve to reject him. So how you think Master Farad Muhammad feel? He came 9,000 miles, seeking to say that which was lost. And you tell him, no, I'd rather stay with the white man. He give you a name. We ain't know nothing about no name. Right. And to read what the messengers say these names mean. Right. And you will reject that for the white man's name. Right. Even if you look at Allah. If you compare Allah to God, and you see why the messenger said Allah is the proper name for Allah. I mean, Allah is the proper name for the supreme being. Yes, when you go and look up Allah, and you go look up God, they can't even define Allah. When you look up Allah, if you Google it, it'll just say, word used in Islam for God. That's what they'll say. But when you look up God, they can define God. They'll give you two definitions. They'll give you the capitalized definition and the lowercase definition. Because God, to the white man, could mean something good or it can mean something bad. God don't all the time mean something good in the white man's language. Because you can lower the case of God, and it could mean an idol. You can capitalize God, and you could be talking about the supreme being. But with Allah, it means the same thing all the time. Ain't no lowercase and capital. That's the difference between the black man and the white man. When he offering you the flag, showing you the difference. You can even look at the difference between Allah and God. It ain't never a time where Allah is lowercase. It ain't never a time where Allah is used something negative. You can take God and put damn on it. Yeah. Yeah. You can put God and say God daughter, God father, God mother. But with Allah, you can't do that. That's right. Allah is Allah all the time. All praise due to Allah. That's why the messenger said that Allah is the proper name. Right. The proper name. It ain't God. But in this generation of Islam, we don't use Allah a lot. We try to shy away from that and say God all the time. Oh, God, God, God. No, Allah.
That's right.
That's why the messenger said he liked Muhammad Ali over the Yusuf Ali. Because he used God.
Right.
God is the proper name. Allah is the proper name, not God. And that's the difference between the nature of the black man and the nature of the white man. His language. You can even look at a movie called Amistad. It was a certain scene in the movie where the lawyer was trying to do something for him. But he had a translator to tell him I tried. So the translator told him, they don't have a word in their language that means try. You either do or you don't.
That's right.
That's what he told him. Then you got a part in Roots where Kunta Kinte was talking to Fiddler. Fiddler was telling him to lie. Kunta Kinte say, I don't know nothing about this lying, Fiddler. Fiddler say, you be around these white folks long enough, you'll get used to it. All praise due to Allah. That's the difference between the black man and the white man. That's why I say, which one will survive the war of Armageddon? You only in two camps. You either in Islam or you in Christianity. Master Farad Muhammad came and he offered us a flag. Just like he offered you a ride. You can take it if you want to. You don't have to take it. You can keep on walking. You can wear out your shoes. What difference is it going to make to Allah? He ain't sad. He ain't even mad. He just know he going to destroy you. He know you fuel for the fire. He can look at you and say, when it's time, I'm going to get you. The messenger even said, one time he was giving a lecture. And he started talking about people who rejected him. He said, don't put you in the outskirts of the fire. He said, I hope Allah put you in the middle. That's what the messenger said. The messenger, we don't know the messenger in this generation. We don't know. We done made up and the honor be Elijah Muhammad. We don't know him. Sometimes I be listening to the messenger and have to stop it. Hey, did he just say that?
Yes.
He just say that. And stop listening, don't listen no more that day. Like, dang, that's enough. I done heard enough. I need to let it sit in. But sometimes he say, I remember one time when I heard him talking about the USS Thresher. I'll never forget that. Because I was in the military. And they told us about the USS Thresher. It was a submarine, a world-class submarine. State of the art in 1962. I remember them telling us that. They were saying that they did not know how the USS Thresher sunk. But they gave us a theory. They said that the USS Thresher could have, a water pipe could have burst over the electrical circuits. That's the closest that they could come up to and why it sunk. Because there's no reason why it should have sunk. Because the USS Thresher was so state of the art that when it sunk, it wasn't even going out for a military run. It was going out for what we call a joyride. All the white folks wanted to ride on to see what it could do. So they had the USS Thresher was filled to capacity. Well, they started having to tell devils, you can't get on, we got too many people. That's how many people was on the USS Thresher. So I was reading in the Cavalier magazine. The messenger was talking about brother Ronald T. Stokes. And he was saying how Allah retaliated for the death of Ronald T. Stokes. He said that Allah God, he said the same way. He don't say it all excited. He don't say it like he trying to impress you. Say Allah God came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad told me that if you killed at least one of my followers, I killed 10 of your best ones. Yes, he said, so that USS Thresher, that junk sunk, it was sunk by Allah. All praise due to Allah. That's what he said. I'm looking like, what? What? I was in the military. I'm telling you. That hit home for me. I remember them showing us the USS Thresher sunk. I remember them talking about it. And they still, when I was in the military, I was in the military in 97. They still didn't know why it sunk. This happened in 62. 62. And the messenger said, Allah, Master Farad Muhammad, he didn't just say no smoke. Say Master Farad Muhammad. And he said, he told me that if you killed at least, meaning do it again, and see what happened. That's right. He wasn't saying it like, oh, you know, no, he said do it again, see what happened. He promised me that the least one of my followers It was another Muhammad Speaks newspaper I was reading. He was talking about another military plane that Allah sunk in retaliation for a Muslim. And he said, just like it ain't nothing, keep doing what you want to do. Allah told me, he promised me that the least one, meaning the little baby, 10 of your best ones. That's the message. So we want to move forward with the black man and his rise. We want to go and talk a little bit about the hog, that pig. We can't say enough about the hog.
That's right.
You can always talk about the hog.
That's right.
The messenger said, and this is in the How to Eat to Live, and it's called Why They Urge You to Eat the Swine. The messenger said, Allah taught me that this grafted animal was made for medical purposes, not for food for the people, and that this animal destroys the beautiful appearance of its eater. He says it takes away the shyness of those who eat this brazen flesh. Nature did not give the hog anything like shyness. Now the messenger was the one who taught us that the hog was made for medical purpose.
Right.
This devil been using the hog for medical purpose for years. They ain't never tell us that.
Right.
But it was the messenger
Right.
who told us, because when you go to Leviticus and all of this Christian stuff, you don't understand why you can't eat what you can't eat. They don't explain it to you. They just say in the Bible in verse such and such, it say, you know, the split hoof stuff. You eat at the cud and all that. They don't never go into detail of why you don't eat what you eat.
That's right.
Because you could go on YouTube and listen to Joel Osteen. He got a lecture called Why Muslims Don't Eat Pork. He's saying it in such a joking way that you wouldn't take him seriously when he talking about why we don't eat pork. They weren't taking him seriously when he telling them the facts about why we don't eat hog. He telling them everything. Now the white man got an article called Why Pigs Are So Valuable for Medical Research. It says researchers from the National Institute of Health last month announced that they successfully transplanted hearts from genetically engineered pigs into baboons, potentially paving the way for pig-to-human organ transplants in the future. He says, and on May 7, scientist Craig Venter partnered with United Therapeutic Corp to develop pig lungs that could be compatible with the human body. This is how this devil using the pig. The divinely prohibited flesh. Now, I don't know what happened. You get a lung made from a hog. I don't know. Because we were talking the other day. It takes 7 years for the...
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Oh man, I was just thinking about that. I don't know what's gonna happen to you, brother.
Right.
But it say, but pigs offer more than just a potential source of organ donation. For over 30 years, scientists have been using pigs in a number of medical fields, including dermatology, cardiology, and more. Recently, scientists were even able to regrow human leg muscles using implants made of pig bladder tissue. It's the devil.
Right.
Now, if you know that the hog is divinely prohibited flesh, couldn't you use something else? Couldn't you use a cow or a chicken or even a rat? A rat ain't divinely prohibited. The hog is divinely prohibited. And the messenger spells out how the hog is divinely prohibited. He says he is the foulest animal. He lives off nothing but filth. The only way you can get him to live and eat better food is to keep him from getting to filth. He is so poisonous, 99.9%. How you 99.9% filth, but you got a pig lung? And it's 99.9% filth. Then he says that you can hardly poison him with other poisons. You can even give him lye, something you think will cut up the intestines when eaten. Snakes can poison hogs. They eat them and fatten. The bite of a snake doesn't harm them because they eat the biter. I remember one time when I was in the Navy, I met this white boy who worked at a pig farm. He told me some stuff, and even after he told me that, that's just something about being in the Christian world, brother. All that, I was like, God, a pig do all that? But hey, we have some bacon. Right after hearing that, I eat it. I never connected it. But I'm like, God, a pig do all that? He said that they had to be careful working in the pig farm. Because he said if you reaching up for something, and you slip and fall and hit your head, and you laying there for 2 minutes, said the pig will walk up to you, nudge you twice. You don't move, he start eating. Say he eat your shoes, he eat your clothes, he eat your bones, all that. They won't find nothing. That's pig. He also said that their urine is so strong that it corrode the door handles. They had lung issues from pig urine. Pig urine. They said that one time this brother said that he went and got a dog, a pit bull, from a pig farm. And this is how these devils is. He said the devil told him, pick which pit bull you want. So the brother said, I want that one. He said the devil told him, oh, that ain't a good one. He said he picked the pit bull up and threw him in the pig pen. And them pigs ate him up. And the brother said he looking at this devil. He wasn't coming there for all that. He just wanted to get a dog. He ain't thinking this devil was going to do that. And he said them pigs ate that dog, a pit bull. That's a hog.
That's right.
The messenger says, his poison is that of a live nature in the form of a parasitic worm that is called trichina, commonly known as porkworm, which is found in the stomach and intestinal walls until it is finally breeds and works itself into the muscles of the body of the eater. From there, the trichina works themselves into the spinal cord and travels the spinal cord towards the brain, at which time there is no possible cure. White man ain't never told us that.
That's right.
All that time you read about them talking about Leviticus. How many times they tell you that? Many times you talk about the Bible and they say Jesus cured it. They ain't say, but he cured it, but if you eat it, it's still going to do this to you. They make you feel spooky about it. Like, oh, Jesus cured it, so I can eat it and won't nothing happen. But even the white man, when he talk about pig farms and the stuff that pigs do, the urine, the pig can eat his own dead child. It's a pig. The white man ain't never taught us about the divinely prohibited flesh and what it was made for. Right. But, brothers and sisters, we don't want to prolong the time. So I leave you as I came in the Nation of Islam's greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum. You pass the buckets. Brothers and sisters, we rise for prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful. So, Master's Day of Judgment in which we now live, the alone do we serve and the alone seek for thine help and aid. O Allah, please guide us on the right path of those upon whom thou bestow thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after they've heard thy teachings. Say he, Allah is one God. Allah is he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, there is none like him. And I bear witness that none deserve to be served worship of praise besides Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is our true servant and last apostle. Ameen. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us not to do anything to anyone that we wouldn't have done it to ourselves and treat everybody right, even the devil. Assalamu alaikum.